Yesterday, guess what happened? The release of the REB Top 100 Agents for 2021, the 10th year of this benchmark ranking for real estate. We love this here at REB. The industry loves this ranking. It is the benchmark for success universally in real estate in Australia. I love talking about it, but I'm not that informed. So I brought someone to the studio to actually give us inside view on the story behind the numbers of the REB Top 100 Agents 2021. Tom Panos, Real Estate Gym, head coach and trainer of REB. Mr. Panos,
yes.
How you going?
I'm so good, Phil, and I'm very excited because, number one, I've started to shake more hands.
Yes.
I was doing fist pumps, but I've started shaking more hands a little bit, been picking up, getting on a few more flights, been doing more face-to-face stuff, but I'm excited because in the next month or so, the association of REB and Tom Panos is going to get closer. And we're just going to do more work together because we know between ourselves we can shape the industry and allow real estate agents to embrace technology, not to substitute them, but to complement them. And I think at the moment, Phil, if you have not embraced all these things, electronic signatures, artificial intelligence, the ability to understand how social media and virtual databasing and lookalike audiences, and the ability for you to actually take the process and make it easy for consumers. That's going to be a big obsession of us working together. But Phil, I'm pumped because this has to be every year one of the biggest days of the year in real estate. It's the Premier League, if you like. The Premier League, if you like and says, this is the ladder. This doesn't say that there's first and second and third division teams below, right? Because there's a lot of guys and girls that do a lot of great stuff all over Australia, you know, whether they're in Mount Druitt or whether they're in Toorak, right? Whether they're in Sunbury or whether they're in St Kilda, right? There's people all over the place. But the thing I like about the REB Top 100, and you're going to sort of expand a little bit on the algorithm, it takes into the key factors that real estate agents, that gets them to the REB Top 100 club, right? Gets them in there. So this is your 10th year, by the way.
This is the 10th year. And I remember the first year, Tom, doing this and trying to work out how do we actually conceptualise a universal ranking for real estate in Australia. And you know, real estate agents, they're all got an opinion, right?
100%. They got an opinion and they got some strong opinions, right? And what's been good about the REB is that we all know, and I love the awards that all the groups have, and I think that they're great. I mean, to competitify people in a group is a fantastic thing. But once a year, a bit like the State of Origin, take you out of your club, right? Let's put you in a different arena. How are you compared to everyone in the country, right? And this one's a great award because to me, it's the pinnacle. But you do have other ones. The REB Dealmakers is another award that you have throughout the year that brings in a lot of people that might not necessarily have $4 million price points, but they make a lot of sales.
Yeah, they do. And we'll have a chat about that, Tom. And you know, we'll just wait for this audience to build up. So the idea of the next half an hour is that myself and Tom are going to go behind the numbers and we're going to pick Tom's brain on the stories behind these top performing agents. You know a lot of them personally. You operate with them regularly. Some of them, I think, are real estate gym members.
Listen, I've got to say to you, I would probably say that 75% of those clients are either office trainings that I do with them or real estate gym members. Had done one-on-ones with them and team members. And it just goes to show to me, and this is not, hey, you know, they're a Tom Panos client. It just signifies to me that there is a correlation that the best of the best are involved in self-improvement, right? The best of the best are involved in self-improvement. They have a position that they choose to say, you know what got me here won't get me there. So they're constantly looking at what can I do to actually close that gap, you know?
Well, I reckon we could probably get the smart people here at Momentum Intelligence who are behind this ranking to work out whether or not a real estate gym member, they do that for a little while to become a top 100 agent, or top 100 agents go, how do I stay in this ranking? I better become a real estate gym member. Which way is it, first or
man?
Or chicken and egg, right?
Let's get the analysts let's get the analysts in, and rest assured, I'm sure that we can actually make the data look our way.
So we're streaming simultaneous casting, if we call it, across Tom's Facebook profile and also REB. So this audience building up. Thanks everyone for tuning in. if you want, give people a nudge. If they're in the office right now, get involved, get connected, because we're going to get smack bang into it. Now, Tom, you spoke very quickly about the other rankings that we have here at REB. That includes the Dealmakers ranking, top 50 officers, top 50 women in real estate. These are really important rankings. These are universal rankings for different sub-segments of REB. The Dealmakers ranking, if you're selling lots of properties in Mount Druitt or lower price point areas, it's pretty hard to actually get into one of these rankings. Hence the reason why we do our Dealmakers ranking. But this particular ranking, 3 metrics, and I remember when we launched this 10 years ago, I picked your brain on it, and I went, Tom, how do we go about doing this? How do we make sure we get this right? And I'll put to you the methodology we're going to use, and you went, that sounds right. And it stood the test of time. We haven't changed it once. Number of properties sold, dollar value properties sold, average sale price. And what we do is we rank every single participant across each single one of those metrics. You might come first for number of properties sold, but you're at a lower volume. So it's all comparative ranking, and that's how we get to the top 100. Thoughts? Is that methodology still right?
It is, and there's no question about it. It's going to favour the agent that's got a high price point, and it's going to favour the agent that turns over a lot of property. That is what I would say the sweet spot. When you have high dollar value sales and lots of turnover, you're going to be up there right at the top. So there's no question about it. The price point will impact it. But having said that, I look at some of the clients, and we're going to go to them, you know, Angelo Nicholas from South Australia, who's got a price point of less than 700, right? He's in there, right? And there's plenty of other real estate agents that aren't operating in Rose Bay or South Yarra that are in the REB Top 100. But I think it's a fact of life, whether it's in sport, whether it's in cars, there is an award for the people that are the benchmark, right? And yes, GCI is a metric and an important metric in real estate because it does talk about how much value you brought into your community and you got rewarded. There's been some incredible performances there, Phil, because...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, and we'll go on in a moment, but let's go top line, Tom. So this is the 2021 REB Top 100 Agents. So it's based on the last calendar year. So we're here at April, last day of April right now. This is typically the time we do it. Allows us to get the time for the agents to get the data in through that period of time. Now, 2020 is going to go down as probably one of the most formative periods of real estate in Australia. What we saw was wholesale change the way that people work, to your point around how technology is enabling the modern agent, absolutely critical. Bushfires at the start of the year, there was floods, there was, and obviously COVID-19, completely shaped the real estate industry. But what we're seeing, Tom, we'll go through some of the top line numbers. After a 3-year decline in number of sales and total volume of sales, it's picked back up. What's behind all that when it's probably the toughest year ever in real estate?
Look, what's been confirmed to me by your figures is that when I looked at the National Award GCIs by groups across the country last year, they'd come down, no question about it. And what has happened since then is, as your numbers show, they've now gone back up. So agents, these top 100 agents, made more money than what they did in the previous last 12 months. Your question is, what's caused it? Obviously, they're doing more deals. Obviously, there's been some price growth. Those two factors affect commissions, right? In the price of a property and number of transactions. This got everyone by surprise. I mean, you know, if you were sitting down there making an analysis this time last year, so we're talking end of April, you would have said to yourself, you know what? COVID's going to mean that we're going to have price drops. Some people turned around and said they'd be 30, 35%. Commonwealth Bank, right? Listen, I don't know the exact cause, but all I can say to you is COVID clarity had a lot to do with it. COVID clarity taught people to sell up and move to regional areas. COVID clarity taught people, I need a Zoom room in my house. I need a swimming pool in my house. I need a gym in my house. COVID clarity created people to actually have separations. The 6 weeks lockdown brought things to a head. People began to realise we can't live together. We've got to accept it. That all meant transactions started to happen. People have to move to go off to Byron. People have to move when they're separating. So that was a trigger. The price growth, well, I've got to say to you, think about it. If you're getting 2.5% of a million and then all of a sudden prices are 1.5 million and you're getting 2.5% on 1.5 million, you're going to get more comms coming in. So I think it's a combination of those two factors.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you just tuned in, welcome. I'm Phil Tarrant. I'm the executive editor of Real Estate and Consumer Wealth here at Momentum Media. We're the brand behind REB. I'm here with Tom Panos from Real Estate Gym, our head coach and trainer. We're going behind the numbers of the REB top 100 agents. The audience is building up. Stay with us for a moment. While we're talking about prices and comparison, Tom, year on year. So this is 2021 numbers versus 2020 numbers. Holistic top 100 agents. Tom, average years of experience this year versus last, 17 versus 16. Average number of support staff this year versus last year, consistent at 2. This is where it gets interesting. Total numbers of sales, 10,004 versus 9,124 total sales. Total dollar value of sales, 16.179 billion versus 12.903 billion. There's only $4 billion difference there. Average number of sales per agent, 100 versus 91. And average dollar value of sales per agent, 161 versus 129. Average sales price, 1.617 million versus 1.4 million. All the numbers are up across the board.
So all the numbers are up across the board, and the two numbers I want to highlight a little bit, Phil, because I know that a lot of people that are watching this right now are people that are aspiring to be in the REB top 100. Let's look at most of the industry. Most of the industry is not in the top 100, right? They're actually in the gap that happens after that. So what are the learnings? 16, 17 years. Interesting. That goes to show you're not going to be in the top 100 in your first year. Never ever compare your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 10. Get in line and stay in line. These people have. That's the first thing. Tenure in real estate. They are playing the long game. The second metric that you touched on is assistance. There is hardly any people in there that are doing it on their own. I have never seen an amazing agent without having an epic team behind him. I've said it before, the pilot doesn't serve drinks on the plane, and all the people here are either got 2 or 3 assistants, right? 2 or 3 assistants. Off the top of my head, I think you said the top 10 have got 3,
yep,
and the remaining 90 have got 2.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that goes to show the bigger the dream, the bigger the team. If you're serious about going pro and getting into the REB top 100, start thinking to yourself, you're not going to do it on your own. You need to actually build a team. And as they say, I had a mental blank of the beautiful acronym I wanted to say. It was the dream job gets the team job. Listen, don't worry about it.
You're losing it, Tom.
I'm losing it. I just for a moment there, I was thinking Matty Pilios posted something. He's from Marshall White. He posted the dream team gets the job done or something like that. I can't remember it.
Yeah.
But the point I'm making here, guys and girls, is this. I think if you want to be in the REB top 100, you've got to accept there's only a limited amount of capacity that you can do on your own. After a while, what's going to happen is you're going to say, hang on a second, who's going to do the pest inspection? Who's going to do the building inspection? Who's going to do the valuation? Who's going to upload it to realestate.com? Who's actually going to do the copywriting? Who's going to go off and do the just litter drops? And then you begin to realize, hang on a second, there's a heap of things that need to get done. Works well when you're selling one property, but you try sell 10 properties a month and do it.
And we've spoken about this before, Tom. I do like your little soliloquies or whatever, and I do use them and I do steal them, and I find myself sometimes like saying, you know what, you got to remember some of the best gifts come badly wrapped, and I know I'm plagiarising your stuff.
You are,
but I love it, absolutely love it.
But you know, I remember saying to you in Perth one night, it was 12:30 at night. We'd finished the Better Business Awards, and he said, "You want one more?" And I said, "Phil, no." I said, "Phil, don't forget, if you don't want to slip, don't hang around slippery spots." That's one of my favourites.
All right. So we're going behind the numbers here, Tom. And
Yes.
we've got 100 agents, 101. We're not going to go through all of them. They're all on realestatebusiness.com.au. You can go and download this report right there. Go there right now. If you click on the rankings button, you probably all got an email yesterday around it anyway. That downloads are through the roof. Go and check it out. You can get this report. It gives you all the numbers, all the comparisons, and also the top 100 agents ranking, all the numbers, their sales figures, everything. If you want to benchmark, this is it. This is your business plan for next year if you want to work out where it needs to go. Do you know what also here, anecdotally, Tom? when agents, you do a lot of business planning with agents, they say business planning for 2022 financial year, REB top 100 agents. What a great beacon to aim towards.
100%. I think whether, I mean, people are maybe sitting there saying, oh, here it goes, they're promoting the REB. Of course we are. We're sitting in their studios. But get real. Companies, publicly listed companies, McGrath, they put that in to their financial reports. We've got X amount of agents in the REB top 100. I look at the signatures. I look at the signatures of my best clients, and at the bottom of the signature, they're not putting number 3 in my franchise group. They're putting number 27 REB top 100 agents. We know that this metric matters because they're sort of saying, hey, this is the actual, let's call it the National Cup, right? Yep. The National Cup, right? Not our own little local cup. And that matters to them. So, yes, and by the way, it's not a bad thing to be including on your pre-list kits what you've come in the REB top 100.
And if you want to know how they're doing it, it's all in this report here. And quick shout out to Active Pipe as well, that's partnered us on this report as well for this year. So thanks very much, guys and girls over there. Really appreciate your support so we can get this out there. Now, Tom, we'll start at number 100 because it's nice to start somewhere. And this is new to the ranking, Byron Kerr. I should have actually got this printed out a little bit bigger. Really new. They've done 96 properties based in Victoria. So it's a nice place to start.
Byron, if you're watching, well done. Because let me tell you, 100 is significantly better for this awards than 101.
It's very good. Okay, so number 91, Catherine Baker from Belle Property. That's Kilcare, Wagstaff. So that's a really nice part of the world, up on the Central Coast, New South Wales. 49 properties sold, 110 billion bucks in volume, $2.248 million average property. What do you know?
So Catherine Baker, an outstanding individual, has a motto, a philosophy in her business. As we go through some of these people, I want to give people a bit of a backstage view of what their unique selling proposition value is.
Absolutely.
For her, she's obsessed with creating a client for life. So what happens is once you buy a property through her office, you then enter this club that is invited to things like you are if you're a Qantas, a platinum member. You end up going to wine and social events. Right? So what she's doing is building a tribe that's got her vibe. And these people become ambassadors for her. And she sits down and actually does financial real estate planning for these clients because she says, my service to you actually begins today at settlement, right? So she's an outstanding person and she's speaking at AREC and she's a client of mine. She's a wonderful person that cares, Cathy Baker, and it's great to see someone from, Belle, a female agent up there flying the flag.
Absolutely. Only 10 years experience as well, which is quite light.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. She came from, correct me if I'm wrong, she came from small business or education. Can't remember.
Brilliant. Okay, so let's go up, Tom, to 72nd. And we spoke about him a little bit earlier, up 2 places from last year. Angelo Nicholas, he's from Harris Real Estate, Adelaide. I really should have printed out this. My eyes aren't as good as what they used to be. 186 properties sold, mate.
An average sale price under 700,000 off the top of my head.
631, mate.
Okay, client of mine, speaking at AREC this year. Interesting, they're both speaking at AREC.
I know. This ain't supposed to be an AREC plug, by the way.
No. Contrary to what a lot of people think, I don't have a financial interest in AREC. I think it's a good event that I, participate in, and it helps my business being in front of 3,000 or 4,000 agents.
It's good. Some good content there.
Okay, so Angelo Nicholas, and I'm gonna spend more time talking about Angelo than anyone else today because I want everyone to know if you're complaining about life being hard, no stock, COVID, bushfires, whatever, let me add another complexity to this. He's a man that's around 30 years of age. He's got cancer and he's fighting cancer. And he has chemotherapy and he has treatment every few weeks, and he still has got his business ticking over. There are days that aren't good days that he disappears, but he has a great team, and we talked about the team. He's got 3 team members. Yep. And it's just a credit to him that at the end of the day, he's proving that even in big adversity, and that doesn't come much bigger when he's got a multiple cancer diagnosis, but I'm very confident he's going to do well out of this. So well done, Angelo Nicholas, one of the few people in South Australia in the REB Top 100. $700,000 price point, not $2 million, and well done, outstanding.
Yeah, 186 properties for
186
yeah,
properties.
$117 million total value. And I guess that the point to be made there, Tom, is probably around mindset. I know you talk a lot about this, and I follow you on social media, and you're quite engaged. You know, the agents, the top 100 agents, probably have a different mindset to other agents. They
do.
have to.
They do. And one of the big mindsets you've got to have, Phil, is you've got to be able to keep going when you're getting punched in the face along the way. Now, a lot of the punches aren't as bad a punch as getting a cancer diagnosis like Angelo has. For most people, the punches are not interested, not selling, no, we're giving it to another agent who's a friend. These are the sorts of things that you've got to go through in real estate. You go from the heights of exhilaration to the depths of depression in 24 hours, and that's why I say the most important organ in real estate is this damn brain.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, mate. Number 70, up 20 spaces from the year prior. Cindy Kennedy from McGrath Estate Agents at Rozelle, Balmain, Littlefield. They're doing great out there. Total properties 54, but $2.2 million average sale price for $119 million total value.
Solid performer. Year in, year out, she's writing the big numbers. And Cindy Kennedy is also a wonderful human being that came out of radio media.
Okay.
So she came out of radio media, and she's taken a lot of her media skills and put those into her community. And in many ways, Cindy Kennedy is the mayor of her market, and she goes out there, you know, like a politician does, which is, hey, they're looking for votes. They're flying the flag. They're immersing themselves in the community, right? And she does an incredible thing, a high-quality suburb report every year. It looks like Vogue magazine, and she says to me that this is her number one marketing initiative that helps her stay relevant to her marketplace.
Now, I've got to ask you, you said something there I'm going to nick it. Mayor of your market. Where does this stuff come from?
The mayor of the market. Think about it. I don't go to sleep. All I do is I listen to podcasts, plagiarise books, right? I don't know, but I'll tell you one thing.
Like it.
But it sounds. Listen, haven't you noticed when something rhymes and sounds good?
Sounds great.
It's catchy, isn't it? The mayor of your market. But Phil, think about it. What's a local MP does? Out there, hey, how you going? Yes, I'm
Kissing
working for
babies.
you.
Yeah.
Kissing babies. What's a real estate agent do? Jason Boone from Richardson and Wrench said to me, mate, I feel like I've got to try and win the electoral vote every day. I walk up and down the roads here. He works at the Cross or Potts Point. I work up and down the road. Hi, how you going? How's things? How's the market? Yep. Get out there. Get out into the community, guys and girls. Start doing your callbacks from cafes. Watch people swarm on you asking you how the market's going.
That's a good point. And another point, I use it all the time. Stories sell, facts tell. Now, I'm a student. I really enjoy. I do a lot of podcasting, and what I've found by podcasting,
You're a great podcaster.
you get really good at talking, right?
Yeah.
And the how you talk, the tonality of your talk, the tempo in which you talk, and what you say is so important. And little things like, you know, mayor of your market. It's so memorable. You know, it's a story inside some language, but it resonates. How do you work on these skills as an agent?
So, what you do is, you hear a line, you like it, you write it down into your phone under notes, you capture it. Number one is capture it, because often you hear something that's good, like now, 10 minutes ago, I wanted to say something. It hasn't been captured, right? I heard Matt Pilios say it. I didn't put it into my phone. Had I put it in my phone, I would have looked at it. The act of typing it into your phone reinforces it.
Yeah.
Then what you do is you look at it and you reflect on it and you say to yourself, how would I say it in my words? Example, I know a lot of real estate agents love this line, particularly ones that don't sell a lot of properties. They'll say to a vendor, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, we might not sell the most homes, but we sell the homes for most. Bang. They get the line, they think about it, they're sitting there up against a really dominant agent, and they'll say, the vendor will say, yeah, but you know, the other agent does sell a lot of homes here. And then I'll say, I understand that, but I want to let you know, we don't sell the most homes, but we sell the homes for most. Bang! Why does that work? Because vendors don't care about the most homes. They want top dollar on their home. That's all they care about.
Yeah. So you got to practice.
Practice.
Rehearse. Yeah.
Practice, rehearse, drill.
Yeah.
No different to what you do with volleyball. No, you'd play volleyball. No,
Water
water
polo.
polo.
Yeah.
But do you show up to practice?
Well, practice is normally in the pub, but yeah, I do that.
That's why they haven't won a comp. Have you won a comp?
We have done actually, but it's probably been a decade since we did.
Which water polo club were you playing with?
I'm still playing now. The Wizards Water Polo, QVS Wizards.
Yeah, tell you, it's a vicious sport. I've seen what they do underwater. They punch people. It's because the ref can't see anything underwater. I'm convinced.
What, mate? I reckon you could probably draw some analogies between real estate and water polo. What you see above the water is smiles and happiness and camaraderie, but underneath it, there's people clawing and kicking and punching and perpetually trying to beat each other.
I agree with that.
That's good, isn't it?
I agree with that.
You can use that. You're going to steal some of my stuff
100%.
now? Yeah.
Real estate's like water polo. On the surface, it looks good, but turn your back, bang.
Anyway,
having fun.
All right, number 37, Tom, up 26 in the ranking. George Bates from Cunninghams, Fairlight and Manly. I was down there today for a swim, Tom. 75 properties, 143 million bucks sold, 1.8 million average.
Yeah, from Cunningham's office in Balgowlah.
Yep.
Georgie Bates, she's a tremendous agent who has learnt the art of integrating family life and business life, young family. And I have to hand it to a lot of these mums in real estate. Their ability to actually have work-life integration. They get the sandwiches ready, yet they show up to their vendor meetings. They show up to their sales meeting, but they go to the swimming carnival. They do an incredible job, and, well done to all the mums out there. I've got to tell you, if you're a 25-year-old guy saying, I'm just flat out, Tommy, well, let me tell you, you've got two less responsibilities. That is getting the kids' lunches ready and getting the kids' school uniforms on. And big shout out to all the mums in real estate, particularly the REB top 100 mums.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they're the exemplar for how real estate can operate in a post-COVID world. Using technology, don't feel as though you're wed to a desk in an office anymore. Get out there doing their things, Look to the mums. They're great multitaskers.
Oh, look, well said. Sales meetings for many of these females now are done at home. And then they can drive their kids to school, show up to their appointment. It's all changed.
Yeah, I've noticed I'm having to bring this a lot closer this year. But number 35, Tom, down 8 points, but still a great result. Chris Hassall from, and if I get the names wrong, it's because I can't read it, Buxton in Victoria, 120.5 properties sold. So it's good to see people acknowledging the conjunctions is what they call them. 140 million bucks, 1.230 million average sale price.
Outstanding agent. Spoke to him last night. Congratulate him. He's number 4 in Victoria, by the way. So that's a very high effort. Came number 4 in Victoria. He's a young guy. I still remember the first day I met him. He's a client of mine. First day I met him, I thought to myself, this guy's a serious individual. This is about a decade ago. Well dressed, smart attire, looks the good, but very humble. Ends up becoming one of the owners of the company Buxton. So he's one of the owners. This guy here still has ownership in the Buxton's business, but in addition to that, he's focused on his business development unit, and they are an interesting organisation where him and his army of, young agents, they pump out phone calls in the morning, bang, bang, 9 to 11, bang, 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 call. Then they hit the gym. They're those, the types that love going to the
good.
Yeah, they look good. They're all ripped.
They look like us, right?
They look exactly nothing like us, to be honest with you, right? So they've got the that agent look, short there, the tailored suits, right? They look the part, shiny shoes out at Bentley. Well done, incredible agent, and it just goes to show to you that you can actually have a long career. A lot of people think you can only do it for 5-7 years. This guy's been going strong for over a decade.
Has he changed his tempo at all? Still the same?
That's the thing that's unique about him. When I was presenting to the Buxton Awards 4 weeks ago, it was my first trip since COVID started, and I said to him, the thing I like about you, you act the same way you did when you were doing a quarter of your numbers. You haven't changed.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, because I've got to tell you, people do change.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how REB Top 100 Agents, a probably good case study, how success changes behaviours, how success changes attitudes, how success changes where you spend your money, right? Like, it must get to people's heads sometimes.
It does. When you're young and you're crushing it, all of a sudden you see the Rolex watches popping up.
Yeah.
You end up seeing the upgrade from a $50,000 car to a $150,000 car. You end up seeing the Insta shots sitting in business class, not in economy class. but then it changes. Then you see them settle down with kids, and all of a sudden, less watches, right? So I think people go through phases, and you know what?
Which is okay.
I'm not going to, Phil, I've got no dramas.
Yeah.
Like, listen, if you work hard, you play hard, you're proud of your achievements, what I think is important is don't shove it in people's faces on social media. Vendors and buyers already have a preconceived idea that agents make money for not doing a lot of work. What you don't want to do is fuel that, right? Yeah.
So, well, you know a lot more agents than me, but they all come in all shapes and sizes, right? It's a broad church, and but what I find out of the best agents, you see it in the ranking here, is that they actually care about client outcomes, irrespective of the day, irrespective of the deal, irrespective of the dollar value. Everyone's the same. That's a pretty important trait, right?
Well, now we live in a world of consumerism and platforms and reviews. If you want sustainability, and if you want to win the awards 10 years in a row, you can't rip all your clients off in 1 year because you ain't getting any
So
more.
if you want sustainability, you need continuity.
Love it.
Do you want it?
I've got to jot that down on my phone.
Do that.
Or
Remember
I'll
that.
forget it.
Remember that.
If you want sustainability, you want
Continuity. It's
Continuity.
a big word, Tom. You
big
okay
word from a kid from Belmore. Big word.
Vivien Yap, Tom, number 30, great performer. Down one spot from last year, still exemplary results. Ray White, Claremont, Western Australia, Tom. Now it's bouncing back for them out there, which is great to see. 82 properties, 145 million bucks, 1.7 million average price.
Unbelievable. Ex-pharmacist, throws into the pharmacy business. Got sick of all the legislation that was coming in at the time, comes into real estate. Within a second or third year, starts writing 5 million bucks. I met her in Vietnam at a conference, and that's when I started working with her. And I've got to say to you, she said to me something interesting. She goes, I can't believe real estate. Like, you can go into a job, you don't actually have to buy stock. You don't actually have to go pay rent. You work in an office for an office. And you have the benefits of a business without risking hundreds, if not millions of dollars. She goes, it's dream. So she's left pharmacy and she owned multiple pharmacies, and she's just gone strength to strength. She does work in the Dalkeith area, which is upmarket, and we're talking about expensive price points. I don't want to test your glasses, but what's it say there's a price point? I'd be surprised.
Well, she's 1.7.
1.7 million,
average,
right?
Yep.
On average, which is, up in WA, it's up there. So well done, Vivien Yap, and she's constantly in your REB top 100, right? So well done. And again, she makes the sandwiches.
Yeah.
She's told me, I make the sandwiches. Yeah. They go off to school. Well done.
Got to be connected. And
by the way, Susan, she's watching this, and she's probably typing in some comments. And if you can fit this in, Susan, if you don't mind, let my 12 o'clock appointment. No, it'll be 12:15.
Who's Susan, by the way? You always talk about it, but people probably
My business
don't know.
manager.
Give her a shout out.
Big Susan. Susan is amazing. So for everyone a lot of people do know Susan because I'm very happy to have Susan appear with my stuff, right? She she treats it like it's her business. And Susan, I met her at yoga.
Oh, really?
I met her at yoga about a decade ago, and we got talking at the yoga studio, and she sort of said, I'm interested in marketing and technology. She was pretty much given a job at yoga as a part-timer, and she's been, Phil, you know how people started working from home? She's been working from home from day one. So we've been quite used to this remote working, Our challenge has been that the industry was resisting video, right? But on March 15 last year, a lot of people awoke.
Everything went.
And they basically said, you know what? Let's have a look at what this Zoom's about. And that's what you're watching right now.
Yeah, no, very good. And I guess, whether it's Susan or Vivien, and even some other people in the top 100 agents, I'd like to know, maybe we can get our data people, momentumintelligence.com.au, Michael Johnson, you're listening to this as well, where people started. So are they direct entry from school into real estate, or did they have another career prior? What are the best careers prior to make top 100 agents of the future? Does it matter?
Well, I think that most people actually come from something else to real estate. The normal path is not year 12, real estate for my life. Normal path is finish school, some go to uni, they do something else, and then they come into property. So I would probably say it is very, very rare to say, I've only done real estate. Having said that, I went from uni to real estate.
Well, you sold to media for a while, didn't you?
Oh, but I started.
Oh, you went to that, then you went to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went into real estate first, then I went,
Okay.
media was afterwards. I went into real estate first. Listen,
Were you a good agent?
I felt very good. I was obsessed.
you were.
I was, listen, what made me good, and I was working, most of my career was spent at Chambers Fleming Padstow.
Okay.
And I've got to tell you,
Yeah, Padstow.
Padstow.
Yeah.
I'd walked in early and I'd walk out last. My formula was go in. If you can't beat them with contacts, if you can't beat them with experience, you're going to outwork them. So I'd go in early. And the strange thing is, Phil, you know when you go in early and the phone rings, there's no fight for the lead.
Yeah.
And if you're going to go in early, let me tell you, big tip, Monday mornings. That's the time. Things have happened on the weekend. People have been looking online. People have been thinking. Monday mornings, get in there before everyone else. You win the first hour, you win the week.
It sounds so simple, but, Anyway. All right, there's 10 more. We're going to go through 10 more here, and Tom's pushed his appointment back, so thanks for doing that, mate. I'm Phil Tarrant. Just as a recap, if you just joined us, Executive Editor here at Momentum Media for Real Estate Consumer Wealth. Tom Panos, Real Estate Gym, Head Coach of REB, which is a big brand of Momentum Media, going behind the numbers of the REB Top 100 Agents for 2021. What a year. Tom, number 23, Helen Yan, Ray White, Balwyn, Victoria, 78 properties, 171 billion bucks sold, $2.2 million.
What number?
Price. Number, you're testing me,
23.
23.
She would have to probably be the number one agent in female, am I right? Or is there someone else above?
No, she's number one.
She's number one.
Yep.
She was number one, I think, last year too.
Correct.
And she was REB, the top women, which I remember. She was number one in that.
Yep.
Helen, last time I spoke to you, you inspired me. Here's a woman, comes from overseas, right? She's got to learn the language, knows no people, and uses the formula I spoke about in. She just outworked the competition. As time's gone by, she's built fans that love her. She works out in Melbourne, and I've got to say to her, she is an example. It doesn't matter where you've come from. It doesn't matter where you got educated. It doesn't matter where you're born. If you're willing, you can do it. And she is the number one female in Australia, REB Top 100. That's a big credit to her.
Yeah, no, well done. It was really impressive, Helen, and I know you're a big advocate of REB as well, so appreciate that. We'll see you at some of our awards, no doubt, coming up towards the end of the year. Number 21, Tim Heavyside, Surrey Hills, Victoria, 117 properties sold, 1.4 million average price. He's always in the ranking.
Always there, always there. Actually did a video with him this week that we live stream on my channel on listing presentations. An articulate agent that's been doing it for over 20 years.
19
years.
19 years.
Okay.
For support staff.
Sorry?
For support.
Works at Canterbury in Victoria. A great agent that's a serious practitioner that works on scripts and dialogues, obsessed at delivering the right language. And anyone there that doesn't believe in scripts and dialogues, ask yourself this. Scripts are not being fake or a robot. Scripts are about telling the truth efficiently, because people don't have the time to listen to a 10-minute version of what you're about to say. And he does it brilliantly. He's such a great practitioner of language.
Yeah, and it's okay to use the same material all the time in order to accelerate or get a better outcome. We're talking about practice of words, right?
Oh, mate, you got to, Phil.
You'd be mad not to.
It might be your 700th time, but it's their first.
Yeah.
Remember that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Number 20. Number 14. I'm going to have to get this printed out bigger next week. Look at that.
Listen, Phil, I'm in exactly the same
What do they
boat.
say about poor planning, poor performance?
I don't think this has got anything to do with preparation. This has purely got to do with once you get a certain age, your eyes need to look at things that are bigger.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that it's printed in grey as well, which isn't helping me. But anyway, up 23 places, Tom, to number 14. Matthew Everingham, New South Wales. He's Richard Matthews Real Estate, Strathfield Way. That's your neck of the woods, right? Burwood.
Yeah.
143 properties, 1.3 million average sales price. Sold 193 million bucks.
So Matthew Everingham's got a special spot in my heart because he's a client I've worked very closely with, and he's in my neck of the woods. And I remember when he worked as a salesperson at an office called Nickolas in Burwood, went out, opened up his own office, Richard Matthews, in Enfield, Strathfield area. And I sat there at a restaurant called Dolcissimo with him, and on pieces of paper, it was the white paper that they put on an Italian restaurant, you know.
It's got that little sheen on it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Pen, texter, drew up a business plan. And I said to him, mate, don't complicate it. You don't need a 96-page business plan. You simply need to know what you do each day. Here's the plan. 3 years later, rocks up, says, I'm writing 1 million. Next, writing 1.5 million. Next, writing a couple of million. Now, he's up there. He's in that pointy end. What is he, number 14, 15, 14. Yep. Matthew Everingham, you're an absolute credit to yourself, to your kids. I know that he's a very big spender of time with his kids on social media. He puts them on there, and I think it's a good thing to do. On social media, you've got to balance between business and personal, and I think that your community would like to know that you've got a family. They'd like to know that your family matters to you.
Why does that matter, though, for a potential customer?
Because real estate is all about families. If you fundamentally think about it, it's about, hey, our castle is our oasis. It's our boundary for our family, right? And real estate, when you look at the values of real estate, what do they typify? Security, community, wealth. For many people, most people feel it's their number one source of wealth. Their net worth is dependent on their family home. And I think at the end of the day, when you're at a listing presentation and the vendor knows that they've been following you and you've got 2 kids and they've got 2 kids, they know that you live life with the chaos of kids, right? That means waking them up, getting them to school, getting them to sport, then putting in a full day's work. People can relate to that.
Yeah, and for a lot of people, their home is where their happiness is, right? So, you know, you need that metric and
COVID taught us that.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 10, Tom, Norman So, Belle Property, Strathfield. So this is the similar sort of area, mate. 111 properties, 201 million sold, 1.8 million.
They're a kilometre away, and I do some of the auctions for Norman So.
You know every property in that area, don't you?
I know that area very strong. The area that I think that I can't be touched on is Newtown, because I've been doing it for 30 years. I know that inside out. Newtown, Camperdown, you know, Darlington, right? But that area there, Strathfield, you know, they're only a kilometre away. And Norman So, off the top of my head, he's gone up 2 spots. He was number 12 last year. Am I right?
He's gone up 1 spot from 11.
11. Okay, well done. Heading in the right direction, as they say. Direction over speed. You're heading there, Norman. You're going to get up there. Great performance.
Really good. David Walker was just ahead of him. Tom at point number 9. Ray White, Wahroonga, 237 million sold, 2.6 million. Average sales price, 89 properties.
Close friend, close client, incredible person. Trivial fact, state chess championship at age 15, has become more famous than his father. His father's Dr. Ross Walker, was on Today Show and now does the 2GB show every Sunday night as a medical practitioner. But David Walker, well done. Ray White, Wahroonga, I think they own about 3 or 4 offices there.
Okay, mate, they're doing well. And that whole area is going nuts right now with the speed of the market in that area. Number 6 on the ranking, top 100 agents, 2021. You know him well, Matt Steinwade, McGrath Estate Agents, New South Wales. Where's that? Where's he based out of? Terrigal. Yeah, Warrnambool. Okay. 179 properties. Tom, you must know his numbers inside out.
Inside out. He's the person I'd say I'm closest to in the REB top 100. One of the closest. We have a 30-year friendship, you know, and he's been extremely supportive of me in times of illness, has been producing content for me, and all his real estate content is in the gym. He uses my gym as the place that he puts his content out. He's such a good guy. I don't even give him any money for it. But Matt Steinwade, I would arguably say he is the number 1 agent in the last 30 years in Australia. And the reason I say it is that if you look at people that have been doing it long term, there is not many. I can only think of 2. James Tostovan and Matt Steinwade that have been in real estate such a long time. Matty Steinwade, you're an absolute credit. He is on track to, I think he's going to get number one at McGrath's. I'm not 100% certain. I think he's going to get number one at McGrath's. Interesting guy. Like, I'll tip Phil. Do you ever follow his content?
I do watch it sometimes, yeah.
Obsessed with fitness,
yeah.
right? Like,
He's
if you
good
sat
Nick.
there,
Yeah.
he's a good Nick,
Yeah.
nearly 50 years of age, right? Obsessed with fitness. He's written a book called 31 Minutes, and he's got this view, a philosophy, that 31 minutes a day of focus on any activity, whether it's fitness, prospecting, uninterrupted focus, find important things to do and give it 31 minutes. And Matty Steinwade has proven that form is temporary, class is permanent. His class, you can't do that year in, year out.
So the question I've got for you, and you know I'm a journalist by heart, why 31, why not 30 or 29 minutes?
It's probably not going to make a big difference if it's 30 or 32.
But it's memorable.
But it's memorable, right? Like, for instance, Mel Robbins, the great speaker in America, the 5-second rule, right? It's memorable, right? You turn around and say memorable. Michelle Bridges wrote a course, 9 weeks to your best year, or your best body, I think it was. It's memorable. It doesn't matter if it's 30 or 31 or 29, just do it.
Just do it, absolutely. Up 3 places, Tom, on the REB Top 100 Agents to number 4. You know him well, David Highland, Highland property agent, Sutherland Shire, St George. 228 properties sold, or 226. The jury's out on that, depends on what it is. 384 million bucks sold, 1.7-ish million.
Officially the lowest HSC score I've seen in real estate. Lowest HSC score. I mean, we're talking, I thought John McGrath was bad. This guy here, the score that he got, I think he got something like 60 out of 500. You know when they used to do the HSC out of 5? This is poor. I actually think you probably got some marks for actually putting pen to paper back then. But he's gone off, and David Highland, he sends me his figures all the time. In fact, I'm gonna actually read out this morning. Let me see if I've got it. Here we are. Last day of April. Today's the last day of April. Get ready for this. For the past 12 weeks at group level, 330 transactions, 450 gross sales out in Cronulla. David Highland, extraordinary performer. And another trivial fact, his wife reckons he's a hoarder.
Hoard stuff.
Yeah. Just a hoarder.
How do you know that?
I asked him. I said to him, mate, can I find out something that people don't know about you? Yeah. And he told me.
All right. Well, he's probably hoarding money in his bank account, no doubt, with those sort of numbers, but there's nothing wrong with that, is there?
Smart thing. Save it up for a rainy day, David.
Number 3, Tom, Rick Serrao. And he's got a lot of experience as well. He's up there with Matt Steinwade in years of experience. Rain and Horn, North Bondi. So you get into this realm now.
Well, I was wrong. I actually said to you, there's not that many, but I've just realised Rick Serrao's in that category.
Well, I wasn't going to pull you up when you said it. I thought I'd
Rick Serrao. And it's terrible because Rick's actually a personal client and a friend, and I've had a long history with him as well. And guess what? You know where he started? Plucking chickens at Ingham's. That was his job. And now he's playing in the Premier League, the creme de la creme of real estate out in Bondi Beach, one of the best. Big smile to our selfie cameras there. So Phil, Rick Serrao, mate, I know you're watching because he's told me he's going to be tuning in. Well done. You keep doing it, doing it, doing it. He likes to have a surf at Bondi in the middle of the day.
Does he look after himself as well? I guess like most of these agents typically put emphasis on health, because it leads to happiness, which leads to performance, which leads to all the other great things in life, right?
Oh, I think they go through cycles, Phil. I think that what happens is in the first 25 years of real estate, you're sitting there and you're hustling and you're throwing your body around like a sportsman does, and then all of a sudden, you get a few health wake-up calls. People start saying, oh, your blood pressure, your diabetes, mate. We need to have a look at that prostate. And all of a sudden, people turn around and say, hang on a second here. I'm not going to run out of money, but I might run out of time. That's what happens. And then you find the last 20 years of life, they're using their money to repair their body.
Yeah, there you go. Number 2, so there's been no change for the REB Top 100 Agents from last year, Tom, and it's pretty consistent, right? So just above Rick at number 2. Again, him well, Michael Clark and Hummel, Manly, New South Wales, 16 years in the game. He's got 3 support staff direct, 151 properties sold for just shy of $500 million, $3.3 million average sale price.
So Michael Clark, an amazing person, ex-McGrath, I think, set up Clark and Hummel's the agency. Him and his wife's an architect, came together, built this property business. Incredible people. Here's, mate, I mean, there was a time in this guy's career very early, and I remember it because I interviewed him in the real estate gym. He said the darkest point was going to a service station and then going in to pay and not having enough money. He goes, I remember that time. He just said, you know, it's embarrassing to have to ring family to come over to the servo to get you out of a tough spot. Since then, he's consistently up there. I mean, as far as I can remember the REB top 100, he seems to always be up there.
He's always there.
And he's a fascinating guy, and him and his team, and it's a family business. His wife, Clark and Hummel. But what surprised me is I still can't get over it. He loves country music, right?
Okay.
A guy in Manly, you know, country music.
He's hit up the Tamworth for the festival, puts his R.M. Williams on and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah, the R.M. Williams army, mate. They're everywhere in real estate. You see them everywhere. I can't help it. Someone gave me some R.M. Williams boots. I put them on, and then I realised I joined the R.M. Williams army. I actually don't think they're as comfortable as what people think they are.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, Tom. If you want to come and sponsor the REB Top 100 Agents, R.M. Williams, I think most agents wear them. But you got to relax a little bit with that sort of stuff. They're good shoes. You leave them alone.
You've got a pair.
No, I don't.
They look like R.M. Williams.
Yeah, they do a bit.
But I like yours. They're actually not, I mean, yours you couldn't be out there in Tamworth walking through the dust. Yours there, they've got that more slender look, right? Yeah. Like a smaller heel.
I'm a modern man, Tom.
It's got nothing to do with the REB Top 100. But I've got to tell you, the good girls and guys in real estate, you know what I will say?
What's that?
They might not wear a three-piece suit and a tie, but generally speaking, they're well presented.
Oh, they are. And you know, Tom, I straddle so many different industries, and real estate people are typically well dressed. You sometimes, you know, you're getting a bit sloppy lately, but...
I've made a big effort today, guys and girls. Big effort. Pocket square. Gav Rubenstein gave me this pocket square.
He always looks good. He's always.
He's the only guy that I know that can wear white sneakers with a three-piece suit. If I wore white sneakers with a three-piece suit, they'd say, "Hey, what are you doing, Seinfeld?" That's what they'd say.
They would do. Anyway, now all these numbers, I know we're rattling through them really, really quickly. I'm struggling reading them, by the way, but they're all here in a report. You can go and get this, realestatebusiness.com.au. It's all over the place. Just click the rankings button. You can download the report there. This here, chuck it into your business plan, your next sales meeting, interrogate the numbers, work out why these people are doing better, potentially than what you are, and how you can seek to emulate them. If you've got any questions around it, I'm sure Tom's happy to sort of give you some sense to the science behind excellence. You like that? Sense to the science behind excellence?
I think you've done it. You've explained it. There are three metrics, right? And we agree that, you know, average sale price, you know, dollar value. Obviously, you know, if you're in Double Bay, it's probably better than being in Mount Druitt, right? That's a fact because of the
Mount
price.
Druitt's a great place, by the way. Love the place.
Hey, listen. I went out to their shopping centre the other day.
Westfield's there?
Yeah.
I was out there the other week.
I've got to tell you, I like it. If I want to save a few bucks, I reckon I'd go there than I'd go to Westfields at Bondi Junction.
There you go. The West, I'm from Blacktown, by the way, so I'm always going to fly the flag for the western suburbs of Sydney.
You Blacktown boy?
Yeah.
Wow. You know who else was a Blacktown boy? Someone's telling me. Was it Harry Kuehl?
Yeah, he's from, no, I think he's southwest, but he's sort of similar area. Yeah.
You know, good stuff comes out of that area. And in fact, I think... Did we have a Blacktown agent in there? Garth? Was it Garth?
We'll have to have a look.
I can't remember. But we're close to the pointy end.
Yeah, we are. Number one, Tom. Number one. So go and download the report, realestatebusiness.com.au. He's dominated the ranking for many, many years. And the question we'll have to ask is, how is this guy ever going to be superseded by someone else? His numbers are so strong. 21 years of experience. So he's been in the game for a little while, but, you know, compared to Rick, he's got 10 years less. 200, Tom, 224 properties sold, $700 million over sales price, over $3 million per piece.
Yeah.
You know who it is.
So, Alexander Phillips.
Yep.
It's been a number of years now that he comes number one. And let's be super clear what his formula is. He will just speak to more people than anyone else in his market. His unique selling proposition, Phil, is this. He speaks to too many people on the phone. At the end of the day, he just goes through the numbers. Short, sharp conversations, adds value, and then what he does is create an impression in people's mind. He always comes back to us. Give us content, give us updates, you know. And then what happens is when people are thinking of selling, he's on the list because he's earned the right to that appointment. So well done, Alexander Phillips. And again, form is temporary, class is permanent, and that's his formula. And I think anyone that's been watching this right here, right now, can say to themselves, hey, there's a lot of things that you can do to be successful, but why don't we start off with number one and realize that, hey, pick up this damn phone. It's the number one piece of technology that's come out in real estate for decades. Just have more conversations with more people in the market.
Yeah, I flew down to Melbourne yesterday, or I flew back from Melbourne, I can't remember which way it was, but before I was taking off, I was sitting there scrolling through my social media and you popped up and I went, oh, well, here he is again, Tom Panos, what's he going to say?
That's a good thing.
But you said to go from, and correct me if I'm wrong, you probably say it better than me, that to get from 500 million to 1 million is so much harder from getting from 1 million to 2 million GCI, right? And the reason why is that because of the snowball effect, you get a seat at the table just because you've been doing it for so long. That's what this is here, right?
Yeah. So if you think of an aeroplane, when it's on the tarmac, it needs a lot of effort to get up in the sky. Once it's up in the sky, you feel it gets into cruise mode. It's no different in real estate. On the tarmac, it's hard. So if you're a runway agent, I'm letting you know, I feel your pain. It is difficult, but I'm pleased to let you know. Don't become overwhelmed thinking that these numbers are out of your reach. All I'm going to say to you is, once you're up in the air, you'll find that things actually get easier, not harder. And the reason why, Phil, is this. Stock gets stock. Reviews get reviews. Open homes bring you more open homes. You attract more of what you've got because you're either in the game and up in the sky or you're on the tarmac and on the runway. So what it means is this. If at the moment you're not there, you're not on this list, listen to me very carefully. Put in 2 to 3 years of hard outreach work. Out there into the market. Go off and do everything. Do your social media, do your dear neighbour letters, chase back more people, have artificial intelligence to give you high probability to chase. All I'm going to say to you is that you're going to have to reach out. Once you get to a certain level, Phil, you then will find, hey, Phil, we're just giving you a call. You sold one down the road. Come and look at ours. Hey, Phil, you sold our friend's property. Can we have a look at it? Hey, Phil, do you mind checking in our property? All of a sudden, it's inbound calls coming in. And I'm going to say to you, most of these top 100 agents don't like to admit it, but they get a lot of people calling them because they're in attraction and magnetic mode.
Yeah, and just to add to your analogy, Tom, considering COVID-19 and the groundings of planes right across the world, planes make money when they're in the air, they cost money when they're on the ground. You've got to be flying all the time. It's expensive.
I love that.
The maintenance and everything, it's horrible, mate.
And what's been really, really sad is there have been some real estate agents, when COVID started, they actually went on the runway, they stopped, and they never took back off.
Yeah.
They got into the pajama slope, they started working from home, and then it started being 4 hours a day, 3 hours a day. They started kidding themselves that they were going to be doing these Zoom meetings, and they have their little puppy on there, sitting on their laps, talking to a client, and I've got to say they haven't come out of that, runway, but many other agents, the ones we spoke about, actually grew their businesses in the last 12 months. We saw that.
Yeah.
April to April, they grew their businesses vast the last 12 months, and there were lockdowns, and there was disruptions, and there was social distancing.
Yep, can be done. So that's the REB Top 100 Agents Behind the Numbers with Tom Panos for 2021. Tom, I do enjoy this. We're going to be doing a lot more of this, which is good, mate.
100%. And guys and girls, I'm going to sign off. Phil, congratulations to you and your team. You got the scientists working in the background.
Yep, the smart people.
Smart people, they're the ones with the high IQs.
They are.
And then the ones that aren't so smart, like ourselves,
They roll us
did
out.
the EQ stuff, right?
Remember, you can go get the report, realestatebusiness.com.au. Go and download it now. It is available. Any questions at all, you can follow up with the team here. If anyone wants to have a chat with Tom also, I'm happy to to feed you through. You can do it through the normal contacts through realestatebusiness.com.au. We'll see you again next time. Until then, bye-bye.